There's a few characteristics about the 8, the Akizuki, that is worth talking about. Um, Boggsy, if you've got the ability to go over to the artillery, and when you get a chance, hold over the main battery there, there's something that I want to highlight.
So keep in
So,
mind, guys, that mine is set up with modules and captain skills.
I'm looking at your build right now. It's
He's
your traditional
evaluating
gun
you,
build.
Boxy.
It's pretty greedy.
Oh yeah, I'm judging you. So when you look at the guns, these are 100 millimeter guns. Now they're smaller than the Hatsuhara that we just played. But the difference, though, is that wargaming, for balancing purposes, has allowed them to pen quite a bit more than the normal 1/6 HE pen rule. So, for example, the 127s of the Hatsuharu will penetrate 21 millimeters of armor. Boggsy, how much penetration do those 100 millimeter guns have?
30 millimeters!
Which is a
Say
lot.
that again.
30 millimeters, which is a lot because 30 millimeters will basically pen the deck of almost all cruisers up to tier 10. Not some of the heavier
right.
cruisers like Russian ones, because 30 millimeters is not enough, comrade, but most medium and heavy cruisers, and even some super cruisers, have 30 mil decks. And this will damage those decks.
So by default, your HE guns will penetrate, and by penetrate that means it'll go through the armor, it'll do damage to the ship's hull, and it'll penetrate cruisers, destroyers, obviously submarines, some parts of carriers depending on the carrier, as well as parts of battleships depending on the part that you're hitting. So quite a lot of utility. Now there's always an age-old debate of should I put IFHE on it or not. Boggsy, do you have the ability to? Can you click on IFHE on your build there, and then go back to pen? I don't know if it'll let you. I think it will.
I
think he might be able to.
No, I can't. However, I can do math. So one of the
right.
one of the things that will happen is if you choose to take IFHE on your Akizuki or your Kitakaze or your Haragumo, it will add 25% to the armor penetration value of the HE shells. 25% or 1/4 of 30 is 7.5. So it will add 7.5 millimeters of armor penetration to the HE shells, which will, I believe it'll, I don't remember whether it will state 38 or 37.
I think it might round up in the tooltip. However, 37.5 is less than 38, so it will not penetrate 38 millimeter armor.
38 millimeter armor is significant because you will find lots of that covering American battleships. The deck is generally 38 millimeters, in which case you will not pen it. However, what you can, the most significant thing I would say about this change is 32 millimeters of armor is also a very, it's a widespread armor threshold. So starting at tier 8 and above, all battleships, with just a few exceptions, have at least 32 millimeters of armor covering the bow and the stern. That's pretty standard, tier 8 and above, which means, hey, there's a battleship coming towards you. What do? If you have IFHE, you spam HE directly at his nose and you penetrate it. You do damage to it.
Right. Now, there's one caveat. For the increased penetration damage, you have your fire chance. So you're going to be producing less fires with those guns. So you need to make that decision internally. Excuse me. Do I want to do more penetration damage, which is harder for battleships to heal? Or do I want to do more fire damage, which battleships can heal, but obviously that ticks away damage over time? It's an interesting debate. Personally, I always recommend not using IFHE because in most situations, you're going to be shooting at destroyers primarily and probably cruisers that are in the area, and you automatically pen both of those. Battleships, I find, generally don't like being farmed. Shocker, I'm sure. So if you're shooting at a battleship, especially from smoke or whatnot, they're probably going to turn away from you and try to find some safety, in which case your IFHE is pretty much wasted.
I would agree.
So I recently did this line grind. I chose not to take IFHE because while it would give me some advantages against battleships, I had so many advantages against cruisers, against destroyers, and the gunfire is accurate enough that I could hit the superstructure on the battleship and still do good damage while also lighting fires. That worked for me, but as Zat said, this is the age-old debate. Do you want more guaranteed damage, or do you want more damage that's good enough and gets fires? That's going to be something that we can't necessarily answer here today, but we can see the Akizuki in action. So, I think we're set for a random. I've got a Christmas camo in my Shikaku, so I'm going with that one.
I got a New Year's camo in my Akizuki.
Nice.
You're gonna give the enemy all these prizes, huh?
All the gifts.
Or presents, I should say.
I would just like
presents.
to say, I can't wait. Well, I can't actually say that because I have no idea if it would happen, but I would love if we had a carrier that had like a Santa's sleigh motif, and the planes come out and they would drop little gifts on the DDs, all the little good and bad DDs out there.
And guys, I've got a lot of people ask in the chat saying, are drops enabled or not? Of course they are enabled. They are enabled for us. They are enabled for everybody who streams World of Warships, as long as they have drops enabled in their profile. We obviously have it enabled. Yep. If you are having trouble, it is on Twitch's end. I'm sorry, we've actually spent time researching this. It's on Twitch's end or your end, which means you either need to restart your game client, you need to unlink your email or your WoW's account from Twitch and relink it because it's been having some issues.
There are 3,000 people here, and if it's only 5 or 7 of you saying there are drop issues, there are 3,000 other people that be saying there were as well. So in this case, go ahead and unlink, relink. It'll probably be taken care of.
Yep. Clearing your cache apparently is something that could also work.
Cool.
Drendrick mentioned that. I have heard that as a solution as well.
So, Zath, Akizuki,
yes.
We're in the fight. What are we doing?
Well, the big thing that you're doing as an Akizuki is actually not what you are used to doing in a Japanese or torpedo-based destroyer. You are going to try to find somebody to hang out behind who can spot for you, and that way you can pop your fancy smoke and start pew-pewing whatever is being spotted. So in other words, you're kind of like a second-line destroyer.
So you're almost like a cruiser in a destroyer's body without a citadel.
Right.
Like a light cruiser with no citadel, yeah.
Exactly. Oh, look who you found.
Look who I found.
It's alright, I'm about to be discovered myself.
So chat, remember how when we were talking about how the IJN boats earlier, they don't actually shoot their guns very frequently, they're more torque focused? I think we can dispense with that here, can't we?
That's right. Now, Akizuki's got pretty decent anti-air as well. So
yes, she does.
You can see what I'm doing here. I've been detected. The Boom Shakalaka tried to do a skip bomb attack on me, missed completely, and in the process, I dragged him into anti-air from Bogsy and from our Veneto here. So the point is, I'm using team play to defeat my opponent.
Team play?
Team play.
That doesn't sound... I don't know about that. I think that team play is for suckers.
So, Zath, I'm seeing Bogsy actually shooting without being in smoke. Is that something that... is that how you would normally play this ship, or is that something that's kind of conditional?
It's conditioned. Generally, I wouldn't be doing that. By the way, Bogsy, I am detected, so there is something closer than that late variable. So I'm going to go ahead and hit my engine boost. You may wish to turn out as well. Oh, look, it's a TED 61.
Something is definitely going to be... he's definitely through torpedo, isn't he?
He's torping probably towards the Veneto, which obviously by default means U2.
Yes.
Now, I'm not shooting because I want this TED 61 to feel not a threat.
Remember you were talking about port booster?
I'm sorry, what?
Remember when you were talking about port booster?
That's right, I was.
I dig it.
Did you just use it?
Maybe.
I see it, I see it. Okay.
Good girls don't tell.
Aha, okay.
I really do feel like my girlfriend must watch these and be like, he's such an idiot. I'm going to take it too.
Okay, so you're in a Kiev, you're forward, you're kind of spotting, you're giving some information to your Akizuki. We've got the Bogzarino is in some smoke. He's got the guns, he's got the will. So what is the win condition here? How do we start just working over this flank and making magic happen.
We got to turn around some of their ships. And I only mean, by some, I basically mean 1 or 2 is all we need to do. Oh, hold on a second. I found a friend.
Oh, you did. So Boggsy with those crazy, crazy guns is going to be able to rip into that TED 61 as long as he stays lit. We can see shell after shell happening.
You guys are calling it a 1061. It's so cute. It's like
Hey,
it has a name.
I always call it a TED 61. It's fun that way.
Well, Lord Zed said it first.
Lord Zed did say first.
That's right. There we go. I'm backing up so that we can keep him spotted. Got my engine boost on, and again, this is the importance of having a teammate that can provide vision for you if you're going to be sitting in the Akizuki, because now Boggsy can shoot because I'm spotting him.
Now, Boggsy's smoke just ran out. Did you also have smoke in the Kiev, or did you take the heal?
I always go heal.
You always go heal. Okay, so Boggsy doesn't have the smoke now, which means he's not going to be able to shoot if he's close to the enemy. DDs are very small. They're kind of maneuverable. How maneuverable, like, what range do you think it's safe for an Akizuki to shoot if he's in the open?
I would take your maximum range and subtract maybe 1 kilometer. And I'd get in the habit of doing that. Players in this game have basically gotten a lot deadlier with their accuracy, I found.
Definitely get better over time.
You know, yes, exactly. So I always recommend you stay at long range until you know that player is way off with their aim. Even then, I'd still stay at pretty far range. Now, let's say this Gneisenau now was down to, 1,000 hit points left. By all means, open up and get him off the board. Right now, I see that you're shooting too, which is perfect because they're splitting fire between me and you now. They don't know who to target, so they're going for both. Oh, he's going for you. Excellent.
Oh crap!
Oh, look, you're at half.
Yeah.
So that brings us to another part of this, which is if you're full health, you can follow what I just said about shooting things. But if you're at half health or below, stop shooting.
We're getting smoked.
Don't die! Yes. Don't be a hero! Don't go into the light!
I have to be a hero. It's literally it's like my brand.
There you go. But yeah, I mean, there's absolutely no reason for you to be opening up and being shot at if you're at under half health. Now, towards the end of the game, you gotta get the kill to win, sure. But like at this stage of the game, there's no point in allowing yourself to be, turning yourself into a damaged sponge, essentially.
Yeah. So you had that big, beautiful health pool. Some of it's gone. Now you got to play safe. You got the guns, you got the possibility, and you've got more smokes. So as long as you stay alive, you can use them and get those sweet, sweet guns into action all game long.
That's right.
Bob's gonna give it to you. Bob's gonna give it to you.
Now, the other thing is, if you're going to be shooting in the open, you want to have your engine boost active so that you can dodge things a little bit easier. Makes it harder for the enemy to shoot you.
The
and
jukes!
For you to lose hit points. And exactly right, the jukes. It's all about the jukes.
I call them my dancing shoes. When I kick that on, so I can try to dance around the shells.
That makes sense.
My shoes are too tight, and I've forgotten how to dance.
One
of my favorite lines from Babylon 5.
I was gonna say that sounds like Mitch Hedberg. My shoes are too tight. As a result,
if C-Raptor's here, he's like,
I got that.
I have forgotten how to dance.
Let's see if I can help with this Mackinson a little, because ours is having a tough time.
If my shoes were a shape, they would be squares.
Oh, look, the Terrible wants to die.
Remember how Zach was saying, if you're nearly dead, it's the end of the game, don't open water? It's a lot easier to open water when you forget that your smoke ran out.
Also true.
Oh, absolutely.
But at this point, you have a Leon. Leon is looking at a sub that's actually underneath his hull right now, so I think he's probably not too worried about you.
Right.
He's looking at me, actually.
Oh, well, that's good. He's not looking at Boggsy. Boggsy's our hero. We can't lose him.
Yay!
Hey, look at that torpedo strike.
Save the Boggsy.
Crap! Oh, brother. I'm weird. This is the terrible connection. Kick my ass.
I think
terrible is
Zap
here.
has got it. Zap's on the case.
I do, but I was just saying, I'm purposely not opening up because I want him to commit. He committed now. He's closer. I can open up, and he's screwed no matter what he does. Goodbye, sir.
Amazing. Amazing. Wow. Well done.
I just realized I'm in front of Oskans, and he was turning, so there's probably a good chance the torpedoes are coming right for me.
So, Bogsy, are you
Yes.
able to shoot over that island or no? Are the shells floaty enough that you can use island cover when you're in a Japanese destroyer?
Yeah. Yeah, it absolutely can. These are relatively slow velocity shells. Once you get up to about 10 kilometers, I would say things start to really take a long time. So, you can end up using rocks to your advantage when you don't have a smoke. That's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, sure. You betcha. You betcha.
And it takes you a very long. That's why a lot of players who do the Japanese gunboat line like to sit at max range and just shoot at things while they're in smoke. Definitely not as effective as killing destroyers that are in range, but you hit more, so you feel like you're doing more.
Someone is saying Captain Ugly says, "Wow, it's broken." Yeah. Yeah.
Totally.
So Bogsy, how much damage do you have? How many consumables are you still rocking?
I have used all of my speed boosts. I'm on my last one. I have one smoke left, just in case I need it for the turrets or to survive the aircraft carrier. I have one torpedo reload booster. Torpedo reload booster available. I ended up using. I mean, you don't get any extra points for reload boosters that you still have at the end of the game, so might as well use them. I'm now going to be a filthy damage farmer and just try to get as much damage as I can on the turrets before the game's over, because I'm pretty sure we're going to win this, so I'm going to be greedy.
I feel like it's going in our favor.
I concur.
So I think what you need to do now is start heading for this Choklov. The Chokolov? Oh my gosh, I learned how to say it, it's so hard.
I call it the boom shakalaka. It's easier that way.
The Boom Chakalakov?
Yeah, because when you drop those HE bombers on a destroyer and like 2 of those bombs hit, you say boom shakalaka.
And let me see if I can try to trap his stuff.
So people were saying this boat is broken, and it's very, very good. And I want to say that part of the reason why it's good is because it's not difficult to play. It has good ballistics for medium range. It's got great fire. It's got a great fire rate. It's got a lot of fun tools. It's got a lot of HP for a tier 8 destroyer. So Zath, what does it not do well? Because obviously this is not just the best boat ever. There are lots of other boats that could play. So
well, do me a favor. Turn your rudder hard over one direction.
Oh, my rudder.
Your rudder. And then once it's all the way one direction, flip to the other. And one thing that you'll notice about this destroyer compared to most other destroyers in the game, it's extremely sluggish. So one of the problems with sitting in smoke and using guns is it takes torps very easily. A lot of players will smoke up, they'll sit broadside to the enemy so they can get all their guns on target, and then torpedoes will come in, they'll take 1 or 2 or 3, and they will be ended. So you were talking about ships.
That's exactly what I did. That's exactly what happened at the beginning of the match.
So, chat, you guys, these are broken. Well, sure. In the hands of a really good player, or somebody that is using the strengths to their fullest of this ship, absolutely, this ship is broken. It's very easy to do a lot of damage, get a lot of XP, and all that kind of stuff with, right? But when you're talking about oh, there he is. When you're talking about, a standard battle, you have a lot of players that sit in the back and spam the shells. Rip Bogsy, that guy knows how to use his guns.
You had a smoke screen!
And I got a Sachio.
He got a Sachio.
Wow.
The Sachio used his guns.
Yeah.
That speaks to the next part of the balance, is that Wargaming balances ships based off of random battle performance. So for every one of you that is using the Akizuki Kitakaze to maximum effect and just farming your way up the PR, stat world, whatever, there's others who are, quite frankly, struggling in the ship because they're in the back shooting and doing next to no damage, or they're up in the front in smoke broadside taking torpedoes and dying.
Look at this.
So as a result,
delightful.
it's...
Yeah! I want to see the submarine torpedo the Chekhov.
Is he
You
too
might
close?
You only got
You
one.
might actually.
Yeah, he shot him once.
Wow.
What? No. Oh, that's so...
Oh,
The Chikala.
torpedoed.
The carrier torpedoed the submarine. Did you see that?
That was impressive. That was very impressive.
Gorgeous content.
Sorry.
Not only that, but he also managed to kill the Leon with torpedoes.
That's amazing. I'm very impressed. It's not easy to hit a submarine with carrier torpedoes, much less the Chikalev, which you do have to drop from a distance. So
It's not easy.
Bend that.
Cheesy.
Now look at our Veneto crawling up with smoke for right where the carrier's last known was.
Oh, yeah.
Dirty.
this is gonna get messy. I mean, the
That's okay
Eustachio
because
could nuke it.
I'm currently in their base killing their dudes.
Are you in their base killing their dudes?
I am in their base killing their dudes for another 44 seconds.
That's a StarCraft reference, right? Which is like, I'm killing your harvesters.
No.
This
that-
is-
Harvesters, that... Wait. No, yeah. Right. Harvesters, wasn't that a Command and Conquer thing? Weren't there little harvesters, or no?
I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I mean, there's a variety of things.
But
There's
this is something I always do when I'm capping out the enemy base. Is I go in all chat. I'm in your base. I'm killing your dudes.
there was an aggressive comment wall of text in chat that I'm not going to fully read, but I would like to address the point of it.
Surprise!
Ooh. The torps on the Veneto.
Oh my god! I accidentally hit the Windows key and I lost it.
The outplay.
Wow.
Sachio
Oh my
bailed out of the
goodness.
smoke screen forever ago.
Sachio
Lapped. That
deserves a comp. He's the
He
Kraken of
deserves a rocket to
Sachio.
the face.
Yeah, I gave him a rocket, you know.
Very nice, very nice.
I gave him some clap.
Okay, you gave him the clap. That's good.
I gave him the clap.
Very nice. Very nice.
So
No.
I want to address what it said, which was, why are we watching green dudes like Bogsy? Apparently, I'm green. I'm not good at it. He says, I'm personally not interested in the shit they are playing here. I'm interested in how they're planning to get a grip on matchmaking. That's not what this is right now.
This is teaching DDs,
This
dude.
is teaching DDs and having fun. We've been doing this for a little bit. People have said that they enjoyed it, so we're going to continue to do some of these. We also talked about updates to the game for an hour before this.
Yes.